everyone, my name is Fatima and welcome back to The Reset It. And if you're new here, welcome to The Reset It and welcome to a new episode where today I'm joined by the lovely Misha Huzik. Say hi, Misha.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Fatima. I'm super excited.
Of course. For those of you guys who don't know, Misha is just the best. They are a journalist, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Tell the crowd what you do, Misha.
Yeah, so I am a Formula One content creator, Misha H Writing on most platforms, and I am a journalist for fanamp.com, where I cover motorsport, mostly Formula One, but I've also done IndyCar, IMSA, and
Everything.
Some WEC, I think.
Misha's done so much, they're like, I don't know what I've done actually. Just everything. Well, we're extremely lucky today because I was able to force Misha to record an episode with me.
Please, I've been begging to come on your show for like months.
I'm kidding. We've been talking about this for so long and finally we were able to connect and like make it work. So what we're going to be doing today is essentially just a race, not a race recap. Oh my God, I'm so used to doing those. A season recap where we're just going to, talk, have some fun. You guys know it's never anything serious over here. So we kind of have the notes of everything that happened throughout the season, and we're just going to speak on what we found interesting, what we didn't find interesting, what we loved, what we hated, and what we're excited for next year. Before I get into all that though, Misha, I wanted to ask you, we've actually had, amongst all things, not a bad season. I'm not going to lie. Like, this genuinely wasn't a bad season. What would be the one thing that like stood out to you the most out of everything this season?
Overall, like as a whole, I think what I've the stories that I've been drawn to the most have been our rookies.
Yeah.
We've had such a good rookie class this year. They've been incredible. It's really great to see this new generation of talent coming into the sport and seeing the success that they've had and the way that they've overcome a lot of their struggles has just been incredible. I would say they're the standout for me this year.
I agree. They are the standout, and I'm not mad that none of them got Rookie of the Year at the FIA awards because one, it would have been really hard to pick which rookie, F1 rookie. I think who did get Rookie of the Year? Do you remember their name?
That's a very good question.
It's like on the tip of my tongue. I did watch the FIA awards, and I was watching the FIA awards, and I was like, I know this country. And it turns out they were in Uzbekistan. I was like, my best friend is from Uzbekistan. Why are they in Uzbekistan? This is so random.
Oh my God, that's really cool. That's super cool. It was Rafael Camara from Formula 3.
Oh, good for him. I think my Rookie of the Year is Isaac Hadjar. And then I would go Kimi Antonelli because like he did get 3 podiums, I think, this season, which is insane for a rookie. Yeah, because he got that fluke podium because McLaren's disqualified.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
that's
so.
True,
that was like his third one. So I think I would give him my Rookie of the Year. Who would be your Rookie of the Year?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I could see an argument for all 4 of them.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. It's a toss-up between Isaac and Kimi. They've really outdone themselves. But I think you touched on everything, especially with Kimi's success on the podium. He's in kind of an interesting situation where there's a lot of spotlight on him, and he has an absolutely formidable teammate. Not to say that the other rookies don't have.
No, I get it.
But George Russell has had a standout season. So when you look at his stats, it does come across a bit less. I want to say I don't want to say like it comes off less impressive, but I feel like his success isn't as obvious from his numbers.
I agree.
Especially given how much in the spotlight he has been since the beginning of this season and even from last season.
Toto Wolff did him dirty, and I will stand on that because I spoke about that a while ago. I spoke about it like when they first announced that he was going to take the seat. I remember I made a video because I was just like, the amount of pressure that this kid is going to be under, and like we saw in the first half of the season, he was going through it. And I remember saying like, I'm so happy for Kimmy, but I'm just like, Toto, you are not just putting Kimmy in a seat next to George Russell, but he's also replacing Lewis Hamilton, and you know the media around that. So for you to be thrusting this little, he's literally like a child in my head. He is a child.
But he is. He started when he was 18. He's 19 now. Like, he is a teenager.
He was still in school, high school.
His frontal lobe is still developing. I mean, most of their frontal lobes are still developing, but like, of the rookies.
I was like, he's a baby. Is this even legal?
No, literally. I will say though, he is, and I just found this out the other day. I can't believe it. He is Mercedes' first rookie since like 1954.
Is he actually?
Yeah, the last time they had what rookie was 54. Carl Kling, I think was his name. And the one thing that I will say, while Toto may have put Kimmy in a very unfortunate situation, he has been very adamant about the fact that this is a development year. And the expectations for Kimmy are very different from George or Lewis or whoever else might be in that seat next to him.
I agree with that. You know, me and Toto, we have beef. But like I also and it's all one-sided, obviously.
Of course.
Obviously. So I guess I kind of want to get into the first race of the season. I don't know how much you remember of Australia, but
I remember Oscar.
Yeah, I remember Oscar and I remember Isaac. You're right, that is how you pronounce his name. I remember Isaac crashing on the formation lap and him being taken out. But I rewatched a little bit of that race in the Formula One race recaps that they had, and that race was insane. Literally,
It was such a good season opener.
I was like, and that's the thing about season openers, Misha. It always starts off the season so strong. You're like, this is going to be the best season of Formula One we've ever seen. And then nothing. And then nothing. Yeah, but no, Australia was insane. So we had Norris win, Verstappen P2, and Russell P3. I think if I'm correct, let me see if I have it. I think, what did I have? Was Liam Lawson? He was racing. I keep forgetting that Liam Lawson's a rookie, but he's not a rookie. Like he was with Red Bull, like not racing bulls at that point. Yeah, I think that's one of the few races where, or if not the race where, pretty much all the rookies went out. But was it Oliver Bearman or was it Kimmy? No, Kimmy got a 5-second penalty, so he made it.
But
oh no, that was the race where pretty much every national of Australia like went out. We had Oscar and Jack Doohan who also went out. The thing about home races is like just don't count on it.
No, it's so true. I think even Kimmy had a really bad Monza, was it? Or was it in Milan?
Yeah, it was Monza.
Monza, yeah.
It was Monza. Bortoleto with Brazil, and also technically Lewis Hamilton with Brazil because he's an honorary citizen.
Exactly. Yeah, Yuki also, he had the debut in Red Bull, but it also, like, wasn't...
I did not like that.
Yeah. We can get into that.
I know you're a Yuki fan. I mean, so am I, so... Yeah. So, you know. So that was Australia, and, like, it was... Yeah. I was wondering, watching it, I was like, that sucks so bad for Oscar, and, like, honestly, that could have been the thing that made him win the WDC had he not had that spin, because then he went, because he was up there with Lando, and then I think he spun, and both McLaren spun, and Lando was able to make it back on track. Oscar was in the grass for a bit, and then by the time he was out of the grass, I think he was like, gosh, was he like 9th or something, or like even further down the grid?
Yeah, I think he ended up finishing within the points, but he was like at the rear of the pack. He was at the rear, like it ended up being a recovery drive for him, and honestly, he did such a good job. I'm sure a lot of drivers in his position, like once they get in the grass, might not have like had the determination to like dig themselves out of there.
I wonder who. Stroll. Let me not be a hater.
Canadians.
I know, but like, it's hard out here. Okay, so how I want to get into this is kind of, I have all 10 teams listed, and I kind of just want your opinion on how you thought all 10 teams did. We can start from the bottom and then work our way up. So
Perfect.
The team that finished last in the standings was Alpine. What are your thoughts on that?
It was a very, very disappointing season for Alpine. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I do wish Jack Doohan got a bit more time in his seat.
I agree.
I don't know how fair that switch was.
It was just a switch that felt like it was a switch for, not to be like mean, but like for the media more than anything else. Because I mean, I know I think Franco did pretty much just as well as Jack did in his first few races, and like he only finished ahead of Gasly barely a couple of times. But I was just like, I mean, it's the last season under these regulations. You're bringing a rookie to replace a rookie, essentially, you know? Yeah. So it's just like, what's the point? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Franco did have some experience with Williams in the year prior, but it wasn't a lot. I think he got maybe 9 or 10 races, if I'm remembering correctly. And at the end of the day, neither of them scored any points. The team didn't put in much time in terms of development for this season. They focused mostly on next year, especially with like their engine switch.
What are your thoughts on that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's very strange to see Alpine not with a Renault engine.
Renault is so random. Yeah, it's really weird. I'm curious to see, because we've heard the rumors about how Mercedes is going to have this most superior engine over everyone. And I always take these things with a grain of salt, because the more you hype something up, the more disappointing it can be. And obviously I'm rooting for Ferrari, at least for next season. But I'm
next year's our year.
Every year. Gosh, if we get into Ferrari, I'll never stop because they're ridiculous. But I think this, the engine with Alpine, the Mercedes engine with Alpine will be good for Alpine next year. I mean, we saw how a customer's team won the championship with the Mercedes engine, so we know how good it is. I am curious because it's going to be completely new because of the new regulations. So yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I will say Gasly did do a very, very good job scoring all of the team's points.
Yeah.
I think that I really, really hope that given how much time and effort the team has spent into 2026 development, I really hope that we do see something, we see an improvement from them next year. But overall, this season just kind of felt like they were just getting through it. Just get to the finish line and then fresh start.
Every single race, I was just like, I forgot about them, to be honest. Like, they were just nowhere. And like, for me, I'm actually shocked that they're 10th in the standings, because I feel like Renault, Alpine have always kind of like teetered on like the higher midfield for a bit. Like, they've had struggles, but to finish last is insane.
Yeah, exactly. Especially after last year when they had that double podium. Like, that was one of the highlights of that year.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we then have Sauber, who finished 9th. Thoughts on Sauber?
I am very happy with Sauber's year, bringing in, first of all, the improvement that they made from last year is absolutely.
Yeah, because last year was something else.
Last year was something else. This was night and day. I thought that the season that Bortoleto had, that Gabi had, was incredible, especially for a rookie.
Yeah.
Again, like, you have to take into context the kind of team that he's in and the performance of the car and his partner, his teammate. He had a very, very solid year as a rookie. I agree. Had some excellent finishes, and I think it's a great first season for him. I think it's also a great final season for Sauber because they're switching over to Audi next year, right?
And they had their podium with Hülkenberg, even though I'm so happy for Hulk, still very salty because Ferrari ruined Lewis Hamilton's streak, and I will never forgive them for that. He was so close. Like there's just something about England that like, it just like, and he's like, let's go. And like, great that Hulk got his podium, especially the last season with Sauber. Like, that's a great way to finish it off. But like, man. very
Yeah,
unhappy.
yeah, that
It was
that
very
that was
bittersweet.
rough. Especially because I think there was another race where we almost got a Hulk podium, or like he was looking
Hmm.
really, really speedy and qualifying towards the end of the
They
season.
like had random races where it was just like, okay.
Yeah, where Hulk was just like, oh, okay, I guess he's in like the top 5. Cool,
I was like,
good.
cool. And then like
Yeah,
the thing about it is though, like it's like they would like yeah. So Hulk got his podium, and then I think like the next race he like he like DNF'd or something.
yeah,
Like they would do really
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and then just
But like that, I think didn't that also happen to Kimmy after Canada? Didn't he have a really bad
yeah,
race?
yeah. Let me see. Everyone pretty much. Well, to be fair, England was the next race, and like no,
Yeah.
that was Austria. My bad.
Oh
Austria
yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
next race, and Tonelli locked up and collided into
Oh yeah,
Verstappen,
he
leading to
he took
Verstappen.
out Max.
Yeah. Max was like just a bunch of effing idiots.
That was that race. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta love Max.
Oh yeah, by the way, Misha is a Max fan and I'm not. So this is I don't know how this works, but it
It's
does. I'm a
okay.
Lewis
It'll be
Hamilton
fine.
fan,
It'll be
obviously,
fine.
as
We'll get
long
through
as
it. Power of friendship.
we'll get through until they're racing against each other and I'm like, don't speak to me ever again.
Yeah, fair.
I'm kidding, I would never do that.
It's okay.
Okay, and then we had Haas, which I love Haas. Haas
Yeah, me
finished
too.
8th in the standings, which thoughts on that?
Brilliant season for them, especially for Ollie Bearman. He, as a rookie, I know I keep talking about the rookies, but they really had a good season.
I mean, we've had how many rookies did we have this season? 5? 4?
Technically, if we're counting Jack doing 5 plus Lawson
Yeah.
and Colapinto.
Yeah, so we had half the group was
Yeah.
rookies.
Yeah, half the group
essentially.
was brand new faces.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought again they felt like they had improved a lot from last year. And it's a step in the right direction. I really like their partnership with Toyota. I really like how that's turning out, especially with Toyota now becoming a name sponsor. And overall, I felt like we could have gotten a little more out of Esty Bestie.
That's fair. I agree. Which hurts because Esty Bestie's my bestie for real. But I agree.
We love Esty Bestie.
Yeah.
I do genuinely like him a lot. But I think that it being a new team for him as well, probably, like, we have to take into account it is a transition.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, drivers will struggle in a new team. Like, we saw it with Sainz at the beginning of the year. We'll talk about Lewis.
We'll talk about Sainz as well, too.
I'm traumatized. Ferrari traumatized this year.
We'll talk about it when we talk about it because me too.
Yeah.
I agree. I actually Haas, you know what's really funny? It's like I try to keep up with Haas because like I always root for the underdog. And I like Esty Bestie, but I actually don't think I really paid too much attention to them this season. Like Oliver Bearman had good races. There was a couple where he finished, I think like 5.
Yeah, he had a couple of really, really good races.
Yeah, Esty Bestie, but again, new team. I mean, I'm sure he can't complain because they did finish ahead of Alpine, so that's probably a win for him.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, we can say yes, new team, but also, like, always had 3 races before coming to Formula 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see what's going to happen next year. I mean, the rookies were really strong this year. They picked a good group of people, I would say. So I am curious to see what's going to happen next year with the two. I mean, Haas has been like, they're such an anomaly to me because like they'll have some really good races and then just go nowhere. But like, I also don't think they're the worst team. Actually, that's a lie because they've been pretty bad. That's a lie. But who was their team principal? What's his name?
Komatsu.
Yeah, under him, they've definitely done better than they've done with Gunter, which is a shame because Gunter literally like built that team with his blood, sweat, and tears. But we saw the difference. We did see it was like night and day. We did see the difference once Gunter left. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately, it is true, and I think Gunter being Gunter, he has a lot of fans in the Formula 1 space, and you're right. Without him, that team wouldn't even exist. So I still want to give a little bit of credit to him, just for
of course,
of
course.
but I think that Haas is moving in a very, very good direction
I agree.
overall, which I'm really happy to see. I think their performance was very like track specific. Like there's a certain type of
Yeah.
track that Haas does really well on, and then they're kind of nowhere other times.
And then we have, okay, this one I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this because Aston Martin finished 7th in the standings. And we know Adrian Newey is now with Aston Martin and not Red Bull. He's going to be the team principal next year, which maybe, okay, I need you to, because you're the sensible one here. I just live in delusions and you always come with the facts. So I need you to help me out here because I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Aston Martin under Adrian Newey. But I don't, and like I know Adrian Newey is a genius. I'm not taking that away from him because he's literally won with every team he's been with. So that's not me hating on him. I feel like it's being a little bit overhyped. Adrian Newey with Aston Martin, and maybe that's just me being delusional. But I think this is just my thought process. I'm like, whenever things get like overhyped like this, I like freak out of it because I'm just like, if it doesn't pan out the way people want it to pan out or say it's going to pan out, then it's just like, he's the worst. They should have never hired him, this, that, and the other. And I think Aston Martin are going to be great next year. I don't know if it's going to be next year that brings them like their big dream wins, but I do think it will happen as they proceed with Newey. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I think yours is a very fair take. I think that people often forget that Newey, when he comes into a team, it's not an immediate switch like night and day. Like it takes time for that car to be developed, especially with now a new set of regulations coming in and whatnot. Like, yes, a lot of his work this year has been on the 2026 car, but we don't know anything about how those regulations are going to really pan out on track. We don't know anything about how they're developing their chassis. They're like, they have the Mercedes power unit, but no, they're switching to Honda actually.
Oh yeah, they are. Which is why
Honda.
And Hondas, sometimes they're hit or miss.
Sometimes they're hit or miss. They've been really, really good for like the past, well, maybe this year has been kind of shaky, but I don't know what's on Honda.
Yeah. But like in their history in Formula One, sometimes they've been hit or miss. And I think you're right. It does take him a while to like build that. I mean, that Red Bull 2020, what season was it when Max was just winning every race? Was it 23? Was a rocket. But remember when we had the new regulations in 2014, Mercedes dominated that. Red Bull, and Adrian Newey was there with Red Bull at that time. You know what I mean? So I do think Aston Martin are going to be very successful with him. I don't know if it'll be 26. I don't. It could be, very much so. But like, just like he's been working with Aston Martin for 26, we know all the other teams have also been working for 26 as well. So
exactly,
you know,
exactly. Yeah, I think he is going to make the team better, and I'm kind of glad that he's taking this like leadership position as team principal. I also feel like he's going to be a very unconventional team principal and maybe not dedicate so much of his time to like media duties and whatnot, which is fair.
Please.
But I think it's not going to be like flipping a switch. Especially,
and if it is, he's a genius.
Honestly, if it is, at that point, like he should not be working in Formula One. He should be working elsewhere. Like he's just
go work in space. I don't know. Like,
like come on, like.
Let's use that brain for something else.
The world is in. We need someone like Adrian Newey saving us, not making fast cars.
Literally. But I am curious to see because, listen, I want Aston Martin to do well, even though they have my number one nemesis, Fernando Alonso, on that team. He is my nemesis. When I say I have one-sided beef with F1 drivers, it's really just him. It's really just Alonso. But I am curious to see what's gonna, because I do think Stroll needs to go. I have to say it. If you're gonna have an Adrian Newey car underneath you, you cannot have him on your team. I'm sorry. That car could be the best car in the world, and I don't think Lance is going to be able to produce. I think maybe if he first started out and he had that great car underneath him, then but now it's just like he's over it. We all see that he's over it. Like, it's like it's literally a job. Does that make sense for Lance?
Absolutely.
Like, It's literally, I gotta go to work, I clock out. I go to work, I clock out at this point.
Absolutely.
I'm like, why are you suffering? You're a billionaire. Leave.
It a lot of the time it also feels like it almost feels like it's a matter of time that like people are just kind of waiting for him to move on, which is unfortunate because he is talented. He's a very, very good driver. But I kind of agree with you. Like, if you have an Adrian Newey type car under you, you really, really do need somebody who's going to be able to maximize the results from that car. Mercedes, or not Mercedes, Red Bull had Max at the time, like, and Max can get the most out of any machine. Like, he's incredible. Right?
He's not a real person. That's why he's a robot.
Maximus.
I stand on that. He's a robot.
Maximus Prime.
Yeah, like Lance. The thing is, what bothers me so much about Lance is like there are times where he can produce, and we've seen it, and then it's just like, all right, peace out. I don't care. I don't like.
Yeah,
what's going on?
And it's like you look like you drove into the sand.
like what are we doing here? Yeah. He just did not want to work that day. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
he was like,
we had one of those days, I guess. But yeah, I am really looking forward to Aston Martin next year because they have so many changes, and I'm really excited for the future of the team. But like you said, I'm excited for the long-term future of the team. I agree. Not so much next year.
I don't have any expectations for anyone for next year, to be honest, because literally it could be every car. To be honest, every car could suck.
Every car. Honestly, we could get on that grid and it could be Alpine all day, every day. Which
I'm not even going to talk about on this podcast. This is a positive podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have Racing Bulls finished 6th in the standings. They've had an interesting season because obviously it started off with Yuki Tsunoda and Isaac Hadjar, who were teammates, and then what was it, like after 2 or 3 races, they switched. Wow, they switched Liam Lawson, who was racing with Red Bull, for Yuki Tsunoda to go to the main seat, which at first I was two things about this switch, because I was like, Yuki does deserve a chance in that second seat. 100%. They kept playing in his face. They definitely did, hiring everybody but Yuki, it felt like, for that second seat. But at the same time, I was like, the 1 year that the Racing Bulls are good, and you're going to switch Yuki for that Red Bull that was bad in the start, because it was bad at the start, and we already know the second seat in that Red Bull is not for anyone. Like, the only person who actually has success in that second seat, let's be honest, is Checo.
Yeah.
And, well, of course, Daniel Ricciardo, but that's a whole different era.
Yeah.
You know?
Current era, it's Checo.
Yeah, it's Checo. So I was really upset, because if Yuki was in that Racing Bull seat, I think he would have dominated. I actually do. I'm happy that Isaac was able to, one, get a podium, and also just like showcase that like he's here to stay. Now he's going to be in the second seat of Red Bull next year, which I'm curious about, because Red Bull had a whole overhaul this season, and I am curious to see if it's going to be equal rounds for both drivers next year. And I'm curious because I think Isaac's going to do pretty good. I think Isaac's going to do pretty good next year. Anyway, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Oh God, I have so many thoughts about
I can imagine
Racing Bulls and Red Bull, and okay. First of all, the Yuki thing that should have happened at the end of 24. That
agreed.
Like Yuki should have been in that seat, especially given that prior to his extension with Red Bull, with like the Red Bull organization, other teams were interested in him.
Don't even start me on that.
Other teams were looking.
I know.
They single-handedly ruined this man's career.
They did it on purpose, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's like they actually did.
They really did, and genuinely.
Anyway, those guys are gone now from Abino. So
genuinely, I am hoping that Honda puts in a good word for Yuki, and we see him in Aston in a couple of years.
I hope so too.
But I think that Yuki should have been given the Red Bull seat from the get-go. Liam Lawson and Isaac Hadjar are both newer to the sport. They should have been put in the
Yep.
sister team where they have time to develop and then make a decision going forward at
Yep.
the end of the season. And maybe it would have been the same decision. Honestly, it very easily could have been the same decision, but it might not have been. And
Yeah.
that really, really sucks. I think as a team, VCarb had a very, it was kind of a shaky season, but overall, like, we could expect points from them every single race. And I'm really, really impressed with the way that Isaac Hadjar handled the season, especially given his turn on Australia, especially like the comments that he got from Helmut
Yeah.
Marko and the way that he was treated. He
Good
like that
riddance.
that was a fork in the road. He could have gone one of two different ways, and he
Yeah.
he chose the right door.
Yeah.
I think that I hope that in the future VCarb kind of has this like independent identity away from Red Bull,
I agree.
and because honestly it's not fair. It's not fair to have a
No.
team that is clearly just for development. I mean, even Mercedes has stopped treating Williams like a junior
I was
team.
just about to say that. Like, even Williams is independent. And it's like, it's not fair. And it's like and when it comes to races that are competitive for like a max win, but he's struggling somewhere, it's like, oh, here come our second team to help him. And it's just like, ugh, what are we doing
Exactly.
here? You know?
Exactly. I'm excited to see how Arvid does next year. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that I would have personally loved to see Isaac maybe have one more year of development. I understand why they might want to put him in Red Bull and like give him kind of, if it is going to be a bit more even in terms of driver input on that team, give him like a start at the beginning of the regulations and then go
Yeah.
together with Max,
Yeah.
go forward with Max. But I
What do you think would happen? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was done.
What do you think would happen if Isaac was just better than Max next season?
That'd be hilarious. I don't think that's gonna happen because Max
No,
is
but
a
like,
monster. But
yeah, but like, he has 4 championships. He lost out
Yeah.
this year. It's new regulations. Like, what do you think would actually happen? Because everyone has their person that, ends the trajectory of whatever they got going on.
If this was Christian Horner's Red Bull,
It wouldn't happen.
it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't. He would not allow it. He like that would be Max's
Isaac would need to
cause.
last. Yeah.
I don't know where Isaac would be if it was Christian Horner's Red Bull.
Max does need, like, Max has been so lucky with his teammates. Like, there's gonna come a point where he can't, like, just because you're Max, like, it doesn't, I mean, you're not the number, like, he's always gonna be the number one. Let me take that back. He's the number one. But, like, he's been so lucky without having, like, much competition with his teammates that he doesn't know exactly what it is, like, to have a competitive teammate. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work with him as well, because that's something new he's going to have to navigate, because he hasn't had really a competitive teammate since Ricciardo. Like, Checo had times, but like, it was really Daniel Ricciardo that kept him on his toes.
Yeah, that's true. And they had a very kind of tumultuous, like, teammate relationship. Like, they got along really well off track, but on track it was very spicy. If Isak does better than Max, I mean, okay, with Laurent at the front of the team, I don't think that any like immediate decisions would be made. Like, nobody's gonna get cut. Nobody's gonna.
No.
I'm really like you. I'm really curious how Max would handle that.
It'll probably just be like, aside from proprietary rules and the McLaren of it all, but like the things that we see with McLaren and the things that we saw with Nico and Hamilton and Mercedes, just like, and even Red Bull with Vettel and Weber as well. So it'll probably just be like very tense, tense relations,
Very,
you know.
intense. Yeah.
But I'm hoping Isaac does well next year. Good luck to the Racing Bulls team of next year as well. And then we have Williams, who finished 5th in the standings this season. Talk to me about Williams.
Love them. Love their season. Really happy for Sainz. Little sad for Albon. He kind of faded towards the end of the season.
And he has such a strong start, though, too. Like, he almost got podiums at the start of the season, and he finished consistently, like, in the fifth in a couple of races as well. So I don't know what happened.
Exactly. He had such a good start to the season, and just and even like the middle of the season, he was getting
really, it was really up until like towards the end of the season when Sainz was actually able to, because Sainz was struggling at like he was at the start of the season.
Again, totally fair. It's a transition year, right? And it's great to see Williams kind of coming up like through the ranks, and I'm really, really happy for them. I just hope that they continue on this trajectory.
I was just about to say that. It kind of sucks that they come up through the ranks at the very end of the regulations, and now it's like, oh, well, we all got to start over again next year. And it's like, scary, because, I mean, James Vowles has been such a great addition to Williams, by the way. Like, wow, what a master class in hiring a great team principal, because he's really, like, done something for Williams.
I will say, wasn't he trained by Toto?
Your bestie? That's true. That's true. That's true. I mean, listen, Toto is a great team principal. I mean, he's had success for so many years because of how great of a team principal he's been. And James Vowles definitely learned a lot from Mercedes, which is honestly such a smart decision on Williams as well, because to come from Mercedes, who's won, how many championships did they win in like a row? Gosh, like 5?
I think so. Yeah, it was 5, because it was every single year that Bottas was in one.
Yeah. Oh, Bottas. I'm so excited for him next year. But we'll get into that at the end. But no, I'm really happy for Williams. The fact that they got 2 podiums is amazing. Like, Carlos Sainz's first podium was definitely his on merit. Was it Singapore? No, it wasn't Singapore. Was it?
Azerbaijan. You were so close.
Yeah, Azerbaijan. So I actually really like Azerbaijan. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too. It's a great track.
It's a great, and it's just really beautiful as well too. So yeah, that was such a bad race. Oh my gosh, yes, that was such a bad race for McLaren, because Oscar DNF'd, and then we were all like, "Well, this is first turn, brother." He like. I think he had a bad qualifying too, so it was just terrible all throughout. But Oscar didn't make it to the first turn, and everyone was like, "This is Lando's race to win. This is Lando's race to win." And then what happened to Lando? Finished 7th, and everyone was just like, that was the point where everyone's like, "Does McLaren even want this?"
Yeah, because when did they secure the constructors?
That was it Qatar?
I think
it was. No, it wasn't Qatar. It was, I have it written down somewhere.
It was Singapore. It was literally
Singapore.
I see it in your notes, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see my annoyance?
No, I see it in your notes.
I know. I wrote down McLaren won the WCC this race, which they almost wouldn't have if Lando actually damaged Oscar's car. This was also the race when they all celebrated the WCC without Oscar on the podium.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah. I was mad. I was like, screw you, McLaren.
Like, I mean, I get why it happened if he had media duties, but and like technically Lando wasn't supposed to be there. They just kind of like walked by him and were like, "Hey, come on."
But honestly, though, like we'll talk about McLaren in a minute. But like Lando, literally, like they were gonna win the constructors anyway, but like they almost didn't win it in Singapore because Lando almost took out Oscar, and they were like, "It's cool, we're not investigating it." And I'm like, Oscar was right to be mad during that race, because like, okay, so it's cool if your teammate almost takes you out. Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Who are we talking about? Oh yeah, Williams.
Williams. Overall, really, really great season for them. Like I said, Albon, I would love to see him crush it next year, because I feel like he has so much potential, and he's now in a very interesting position where he actually has a teammate that's challenging him. Whereas before it was Colapinto and Sargent and who was it? Oh my god, I'm blanking on it. Was it
Latifi? No.
I think it might have been.
Maybe. That feels like 100 years ago.
That feels so long ago. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
think it might
god.
have been
I
Latifi.
was
I am curious to see what's going to happen with Alex Albon because you're right. He does have a competitive teammate now, and it's a teammate that started around before him. Actually, let me take that
yeah.
back. That's been in Formula One for a while. That has wins, and that also brought Williams their first two podiums in God knows how many years. So
Yeah.
I think next
And yeah.
season Alex really, really has to step it up because Carlos Sainz, he's good wherever he goes. He is. And he can produce results. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with them next year because it's kind of like the Oscar Lando situation of it all, where it's like Williams is Albon's baby. Like he's really like said, I'm going to work with you guys to bring you guys back to the top. And then here comes some random dude who's really competitive, and you're like, wait a second,
It's
what's
true. It's
going
true.
on? You know?
And they both went through the Red Bull development program. They were both Red Bull
Yeah.
junior drivers. So they've got a bit
Mm-hmm.
of a I don't know if they were in the junior program at the same time, but
I don't know. I didn't
I don't
realize
think
how
so.
long Sainz has been in Formula One
Yeah.
for as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
been
yeah.
2015, I think. I'm
I
like,
think so. Yeah, he's been around
brother.
for quite a while. No, like I look
What's
at all
up?
of the teams that he's been on, and I'm like, oh yeah, he was in McLaren. He was like,
Yeah. He's like Alonso with the serial hopping teams, but at least like he produces results. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, one
No
hundred
shade to
percent.
Alonso, but like full shade as
Oh
well.
my god, poor
But maybe
Alonso.
playing the long game is gonna work for Alonso with Aston Martin. Who knows?
Who knows? Fingers crossed for him.
Okay, and then we go into fourth in the standings.
Oh
Ferrari.
dear, I
Which
can't
is
believe it.
so stupid because they were almost second.
Why did they change their entire car?
No, Misha, they were doing so well at the end of last year. And then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna
Why
come with a
did
new
they
concept
change
for
their
2025." Actually,
entire car?
I I did a video on Ferrari a while back, just trying to figure out like what was wrong with them because I was literally
Yeah.
just trying to figure it out. And honestly, Ferrari has consistently, they for at least since gosh, I think like '07, they've never been lower, I think, than fourth in the standings, if I'm correct. Um, if I'm
Wow.
correct, they haven't been low. I have it in the same notebook, but this notebook has a lot of pages, so we're not going to find
It's
that.
okay.
But yeah, they've never been lower than I think fourth in the standings. So they've always consistently been up there in the standings. But what made me so upset about Ferrari, which is what made everyone so upset about Ferrari, is like we saw McLaren win the championship with Lewis Hamilton in 2008. McLaren then just disintegrated and struggled, and they were at the back of the field, and they worked and they worked and they worked and they built themselves back up. And 2023, later half of 2023, we saw them like produce something that was worthwhile and started being competitive. In that time from '08 to now, we've seen um, Red Bull win with Vettel. We've seen Mercedes win with Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. And then we saw Red Bull pick it back up and win again with Max. And then McLaren came and started winning. And I'm like, Ferrari, what is going on? Red Bull had tough days and then they built themselves back up. McLaren had tough days, they built themselves back up. Ferrari, you've always been in the mix and you have not been able to win one championship in those years. And don't get me wrong, Mercedes was dominating. They were dominating. They were insane. That car was not real. I'm kidding. But those cars, should I say, not that car. Those cars are not real. And yet Ferrari still fell back behind McLaren and Red Bull both. And I'm like, I don't get it. I truthfully don't get it. And this season, I think, was their worst season. So I'm just like, I do not know what to expect from Ferrari at all. At all. I can be delusional and say, yep, they're gonna win next year. I can be delusional and say that. But realistically, I just don't know.
I don't know. I think we've gotten some really interesting insights into how Ferrari works since Lewis Hamilton
Mm-hmm.
joined.
Yeah.
We've and through that, I think we've learned that this well, not even learned, like it's just been reinforced. I feel like a lot of people knew this was a problem, but it really is a cultural issue.
It
It's
is.
it's kind of baked into the bones of the team by this point. And I think that I don't think that like firing Fred is gonna fix it. I don't think
Nope.
that hiring anyone new is gonna fix it. I don't
Nope.
think major personnel changes, an overhaul is gonna be a difference. This
Nope.
really does have to come internally. It's also not a change that I can see happening like overnight.
Unless they really put in the work this
Yeah.
off season, unless they, because like you're right. These are things we've kind of like assumed, but like we really saw it come to a forefront with Lewis Hamilton joining the team because one, why are you going to hire a 7-time world champion if you're just not going to maximize him to the best
Yeah.
of his capabilities, right? And don't we will talk about Lewis because he's had a terrible season, and as much as I love Lewis, I can also be all right and say this was not a good season for him. I'm about to go on a tangent. Let me stop. Back to Ferrari. It definitely did highlight that this is so internal. It's like it gets to a point where it's like they actually almost don't even care about winning. It's that's what it feels like. Where they're like, well, we're Ferrari. It's a full season of us anyway. And like I think maybe the only thing I can think of is maybe because of how much their incompetence, sorry to say that, has come to the forefront this year, especially with John Elkins quotes
Yeah.
towards the later half of the season. I hope that they're able to see what the see how the outside reacted to that because everyone was just like, who says that? So I hope they're able to actually like see how the outside reacted to that and actually work on it because like you're so allegedly the best team in not even you are the best team in Formula One history, but that's not showing, not for the past 15 years. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think it really says something that they came in fourth when they have the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, who are two of the best drivers on that grid. Like, they came into the season with the strongest driver lineup.
Everyone, I literally said at the beginning of the season, I said Ferrari, you have Leclerc and Hamilton. There's absolutely no reason that you should not be winning races this
Yeah.
season. I literally remember saying that in one of my videos, and look at
And
us now.
not one win.
Not one win, excluding China. Whatever.
I'm not
China.
counting the sprint. I'm sorry.
I'm
Like,
counting the
that's a
cruise.
third of a
Listen, I
race.
need that. As a Hamilton fan, I need that. Okay, we've had a terrible
Okay,
season. We
fair,
need that
fair,
sprint.
fair,
Okay.
fair.
As a Ferrari fan, we can't count it. As a Hamilton fan, we count it.
Okay,
Okay.
totally fair, totally fair.
But not one win. And you know what? When I was doing my notes for this, Hamilton has had a bad season for Hamilton standards, but for like actual Formula One like standards, it's not been the worst season for him, high key.
Yeah.
Like because he's Lewis Hamilton, everyone's like, this is the worst season ever. He's a terrible driver, but like he's honestly done all like if all right. Like he's he's definitely gone out in Q1 many times. Of course Leclerc is going to be ahead of him, and like Leclerc was born in Ferrari. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like Leclerc was literally born in Ferrari. He is
Yeah.
Ferrari through and through, of course, and he knows that Ferrari car under the regulations that we were currently in at that time. Lewis Hamilton was pretty much born in Mercedes, like from McLaren Mercedes to Mercedes Mercedes. He's always known Mercedes. And it's different. I think that it's different than like a Sainz or an Alonso who have switched teams multiple times because they're able to adapt to multiple different teams because they've done that multiple times. It's like if Leclerc were to leave Ferrari and automatically go to like a Williams. I'm sure he would have struggled just as much because he's only been with
Yeah.
Ferrari. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's had not a good season for I think Lewis Hamilton standards. But overall, like if someone else finished where Lewis Hamilton finished and got the results that Lewis Hamilton got, they'd be like, that was a pretty okay season for that person.
Yeah, and I think that is something that's a very, very good point that you made, putting it into context. Like, yes, we have a lot of drivers going through a bit of a transitional year. We had a really big shuffle in the team lineups, but Lewis really is the only one that has had a long-term history with one specific team and one specific engine provider. And sure, you can say like, oh well, look at Sainz and his 2 podiums, or look at like whoever and their how many other points, but it's a completely it takes a lot of the context out of it, and I think you put it into the right context. So it's just really disappointing to see that it happened.
Yeah. And like there's definitely work he needs to do. And I think if anyone understands that, it's him as well. Like he does need to his qualifying is not good.
Yeah, I think by the end of the year he was just kind of over it, which honestly fair. Honest, like who wouldn't
Get me
be?
out of that car. Misha. Ferrari double DSQ in China after they had won the sprint race. Ferrari, where's my other Ferrari double DSQ? Ferrari double DNF in Netherlands. Ferrari double DNF in Brazil. Like, what is going on here? Are they out
It's
of their minds?
it has actually been such a letdown of a season. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. Leclerc did good. I mean, I'm sure Leclerc was even like, what's going on? Like he's got actually,
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much podiums he got this season because Ferrari's been so bad that I was like, oh, Leclerc actually got a lot of podiums. And you know what? Lewis Hamilton has been really close many times to getting P3, but that Ferrari car, it drives and then it just
and then
once it starts like racing competitively, it's just like, actually, no, we're just gonna blah, blah, blah.
We're just not. We're just not. It's but even for Charles, like his season it was a solid season, but even for him I think it wasn't like one of his best.
No, because the car was just bad. It was just the only reason Ferrari even finished fourth is because of their drivers. Let's be honest.
No, for real.
Not because of the car.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I have a question for you. Do you see Charles staying in Ferrari?
I think very dependent on next year. I think it's I'm like, where is he gonna go?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I do think it is very dependent on next year. I think Charles may also, it's kind of like a Lando situation where he was about to leave McLaren kind of because they were nowhere. And then all of a sudden, Zach Brown, he made that promise and he came through on that promise, obviously. So I think Charles is kind of in that situation that Lando was in like 2 years ago, where it's like, if you don't fix this, I'm out. And I don't think Ferrari wants that because they literally like did all that work just to have their number one driver leave. So I do think it's very dependent on next season. Even if they don't win the championship next season, if they can at least produce a worthy car, I think Charles will stay. If they're like this again next year, I don't know why he would.
Yeah.
Like if he stayed, I'm like, why would you do that? Like this is like, do you not want to win a championship? But it's one of those situations where it's like the minute he leaves, they're going to win, which is annoying because that's how things happen.
Of course. It's always, it's always like
that.
I fully agree with you. I have like the exact same opinion, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know where I see him going, but honestly, I think he'll have his door open to anybody. He's similar to Max. Like once he's on the market, it doesn't matter who's on your team. You
That's true, actually. Yeah, I actually don't, like, maybe Mercedes feels, like, so odd. Like, I don't see, like,
No, I see Max at Mercedes before I see Charles
I agree.
there.
Which, if Max goes to Mercedes, I swear to God, Toto Wolff, I'm never speaking to you. I will, as if I speak to him now. No, because
like,
that is,
what's up?
Misha, that would be so sinister. That would be so sinister on Toto Wolff's part if Max goes to Mercedes.
I am
because of what Red Bull and Max did with Lewis Hamilton.
That's true.
I'm sorry, that is sinister. I have to stand by that because that, like, anyway, that's not. Speaking of Red Bull, they finished third in the standings. Thoughts as my resident Red Bull fan?
I would say I am a Max Verstappen fan and not a Red Bull fan.
You're right.
I happen to be a Max Verstappen fan and a Yuki Tsunoda fan, and they happen to be on Red Bull.
That's true.
But yeah. As a journalist, I like all the teams equally, but as a human being...
Me too. This is very neutral. Everything I say is fake. I love everyone, including Toto Wolff. Toto Wolff is the best. Fernando Alonso, we're like this, actually.
Canada loves... I think that Laurent Mekies should have been made team principal sooner. That the switch in performance and the switch in culture, that was night and day. I'm sorry, but that was night and day.
Night and day.
Night
And like
and day.
it was just like it like what?
Yeah. Like it honestly, Christian Horner should have left last year. Like,
Okay, when did he leave again? What, like, do you remember when he left?
Right after the summer break, I think.
Mm-hmm. That, as you can see, Horner gone and got like, because I was like, he needs to go. That was, it was like Horner left. The car magically got better because that car was really bad. Let's be honest, that car was really bad at the start of the race.
That was a horrible car.
But the car was bad at the start of the season. But it was not the worst car in the grid towards the end of the season. People like to downplay that and say this was the fourth best car on the grid. I'm like, by the end of the season, it was literally the second best car. I'm sorry, it was. Like, Max won the last 3 races.
He did. And when he wasn't winning, he was still like
up there.
We can't forget he started dead last in Brazil and finished on the podium.
Yeah.
That's not for nothing.
Yeah, you know,
like you can't blame a brand new. You can't like put all of that on a brand new power unit.
No, of course not. Of course not. Like as much as I'm not a Max person, I will never ever ever say that he's not great because he is. Like Max is not a real person. Max is actually a robot and he's pretending to be a real person. And like honestly, there was a point where I was like, if he wins this, I can be like, oh, okay, this was deserved. And because we're on Max and how he just lost out on the championship, we have to talk about Barcelona because...
Yeah, that
you know...
That was interesting.
You know.
That was interesting. I mean, like Max himself said, that wasn't the only thing that cost him.
Yeah, sure. So what are your thoughts on Red Bull for next year?
For next year, I'm really looking forward to, like we said, Isaac Hadjar in that seat. Mm-hmm. I'm curious about how their power units are going to perform, because that's a brand new thing. That power unit is made in collaboration with Ford. It's been a really long time since Ford was in the sport.
Yeah, and Red Bull has like weird things with power units at times, so it's gonna be interesting.
I don't know if we'll see Red Bull dominance.
No, it's over for Max.
Max might be keeping that 3 for a little longer than planned.
4. 3? 4?
3
4.
His number. I think he's going back to 3.
Oh, I was like, he only got 3?
You're like, when did Misha become a Hamilton? Look, I love Lewis Hamilton. 2021, I have beef with 2021.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I agree with you on that though. I do think this year was literally an anomaly for Red Bull. I don't even think they were supposed to catch up to McLaren. McLaren literally fumbled so bad that Max was able to catch up, but Max was not supposed to win this year. Let's be honest. Like he wasn't. So it would have been cool if he won because like it would have been actually a great comeback story in my opinion. But it's going to be, especially with this, like the people, the drivers that we have on the grid and like how great they all are, and also with like the new regulations and like just how dominant teams have been recently, it's gonna be hard for Red Bull. I also, I'll say that for McLaren because I also do think I don't know if McLaren's gonna actually dominate next year, but that's a McLaren conversation for when we get to McLaren because we're moving on to Mercedes, who finished second. That's on Mercedes.
Yeah, great season from them. George Russell really showed that he is like he's an excellent driver.
Me and George Russell is so funny to me because like obviously when he was teammates with Lewis, I was like, ooh, George, I ruined the day you became Lewis's teammate. But like I also was like, this guy's kind of funny. George cracks me up. I think George.
Go ahead, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead. I just think he's the funniest thing.
He gives such like cartoon villain energy.
That's it. Yes. Because like there are times where I'm like, I don't like this driver. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And then other times I'm like, This guy is so funny. Like, I can't not, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, when he said, oh, I'll take the penalty at Monaco because Alex Albon was driving erratically or whatever, I said, I've never heard anyone say that. Also, just side note, because I actually, like, for some reason, don't think I've ever really paid attention to Monaco. Like, I know it's Monaco, da 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 da, and I love Monaco. And I do like it a lot, but the cars are just, they are way too big for Monaco, man.
They're way too big.
They're way too big for
They're way too
Monaco.
big. And
Like,
I don't think next year they're getting smaller. I don't think they're gonna be small enough.
no, because I was watching the recap and I was just like, oh, oh, and that's like when Gabby Bortoletto, when he was trying to overtake Kimmy, and then he just like ran right into the barrier because there was literally no space,
Yeah.
like zero space, and I was like, yeah, Monaco, love you so much, like I do, but it's gonna be, I don't know what they're gonna do about Monaco. I don't know, because I know they don't want to take it off the grid, which fair enough, it's Monaco.
Didn't it just get an
But
extension?
I think it did.
Yeah.
So either the cars have to get smaller or something's got to change.
Something has to change. And honestly, 2 pit stops is not the solution. We've now had 2 races in the past season where 2 pit stops were enforced, and it didn't do anything. Honestly,
No.
it really doesn't do anything. It's the same as having one.
No. Yes.
I don't know if the solution. I don't know what the solution for Monaco is. Do they just do like qualifying again? Like, just whoever can be the fastest on this track?
I guess.
I genuinely don't know.
Tire Wars, maybe? They're not bringing back Tire Wars for Monaco.
Or it could just, stay a Saturday thing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because Monaco brings them so much money. They're also just not going to get rid of it for that exact reason as well. Like, it brings them so much money, but I just don't know. Okay. All right, let's move on. Anything else about Mercedes?
I was really, really impressed with how they improved a lot of their issues from last year. They had a lot of problems with like cold temperatures. Enough with the Mercedes glazing.
Funny how that works, huh? I'm kidding. Mercedes is still like one of my top teams. Like, even though honestly, Hamilton's not there anymore, they're still one of my top teams.
I'm much more of a driver Formula One fan, and I love Kimi Antonelli so much.
He's so, like, I don't like to get parasocial. You know me. Like, I really don't. Yeah. But Kimi's just so cutie. And I'm like, you sweet baby. What are you doing?
Baby child.
Literally. He's like...
I saw so many people like hating on him when he was going through his slump, and I'm like, A, he's a literal child. B, he's a rookie.
Oh, stop being mean to him.
Stop being mean. And like, I don't even want to get into the Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, like the 2 points.
I think Kimi. I think this is a lesson for him after this year. He does need to start being meaner. Like, you didn't need to apologize to Max. Like, this was not your fault. No. I do think this was like lessons learned. Like, of course it's his first season, so positive vibes for him. But I do think come next year, I feel like he is going to toughen up a bit more as well, because if Mercedes are going to dominate like how people say they're going to dominate, I can't see a world where Kimi's just going to be playing Mr. Nice Guy all the time. Like, he's still a racing driver at the end of the day, and they all have an ego, and they all kind of have that little spirit, So that's gonna come out, I think, especially if Mercedes are dominating and he's going against George. Like, George got the nice version of Kimi this year. Now that he's seasoned and he's done a season of Formula One,
So, okay, similar thing to when we were talking about Red Bull and Isaac and Max. Mm-hmm. I wonder what's going to happen if Kimi starts outperforming George more consistently.
Oh, it's not. We already see it a little bit. Like, because George hates when his teammate is better than him. And George is so quick to turn on the radio and ask for team orders when he thinks he's faster than his teammate. And then he passes his teammate and it's like, oh no, you weren't faster than him, actually.
Yep.
Like,
we saw that already once with Kimi.
Mm-hmm. We did.
I forget what race it was, but
I have it somewhere. I can't remember either, but yeah, I mean, George did it so many times, even the past few years when him and Lewis are teammates, and I'm just like, buddy. So it's gonna, I think that's gonna be even more tense, actually, than, Isaac and Max. I'm not gonna lie, because Max has his championships, and of course he's gonna want to win another one. But George wants
Yeah, George is
his,
hungry. George is
and
hungry.
he's not gonna let his rookie teammate get one before him.
Nope.
You know. And he's going to handle it way differently than Lando. And speaking of Lando, let's go on to McLaren, who finished number 1 in the standings. And they also got the WDC with Lando Norris. And talk to me.
Congratulations! I think congratulations are...
I agree. I agree. I agree.
They, honestly, they were the fastest team at the end of the
They were.
day. Like, as a unit, they had the best car. They had a very strong driver teammates. They
Driver lineup.
Driver lineup, that's the word I'm looking for. And yeah, it's honestly like it was in the bag. It was in the bag for the constructors.
I agree. Now, I agree. I do think they did have the fastest car. I don't think it was like a rocket ship like how that Red Bull was in 2023 or anything, but they had just the fastest car consistently, and they had great drivers to utilize that fast car. I think I'm happy for Lando that he won the championship. I am, because we talked about this after he won. We were just like, it's great to see someone like who's worked so hard to live out their dream, and to finally have that is amazing. I'm so happy that that happened for him. I'm so bummed for Oscar, and like I get it. It's only his. Can you imagine? It's only his 3rd season in Formula One. He's already the most decorated F1 Australian driver, and he almost won the championship. And I'm not going to go conspiracy mode because that's not what I'm here for. Yeah. But it's just like McLaren did slight him a lot.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of the time it did feel like papaya rolls were kind of being applied a little unevenly.
It felt just like, I think when it was really relevant for me was Monza, I think, because that's when Lando had that 5.9 second pit stop that McLaren gave him, and then Oscar ended up ahead of Lando, and then McLaren went on to ask Oscar to let Lando pass, and that was just crazy. And like Max had it right, just because he had a slow pit stop.
Yeah.
Because what do you mean? I'm sorry, that's on you. I'm like, in what world does that actually make sense to anyone?
It doesn't. It's like, this is, at the end of the day, yes, there is an individual competition, but this is a team sport. And if the team, which includes the pit crew, messes up, you take the L.
You take the L. It's so blatant. Like, that was really blatant. Like, that specifically, I was just like, and I'm not saying that McLaren was like, yeah, we're gonna get Oscar because he's leading. But there were just times of, it felt like it was just like unfair. And Oscar is really nice because he has a stupid long contract with McLaren. One. But I don't think he's not going to be nice next year. There's just no way in heck that he's going to be nice next year, because he was nice this year. And honestly, yes, he did mess up. He had just a terrible run of races towards the latter half of the season. And then it picked back up. But yes, he did mess up. But at the same time, his team also, it felt like they didn't care to. Oh, my leg got weird. They didn't care to. I don't want to say help him, but like assist him whenever he was the leader, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. It felt very much like when Lando was behind Oscar, it felt like they were doing more to get Lando up ahead.
Yeah. Which I get, because Lando's been with them for so long, but like, sorry, go ahead. I'll get into that after.
I interrupted you.
No, I definitely interrupted you.
But yeah, it felt like, and I mean, maybe if we go back and we look at every single instance of when papaya rules were enforced and how and whatnot, and like listen to all of the team radios, because I'm sure not every instance was broadcast.
Of course.
Maybe it'll be a bit more of an even story, but it did feel like a lot of the time it was Oscar on the short end of the stick. And I do hope that from next year on, he does kind of put his foot down a bit more. And Lando does have he is coming in as a world champion,
which is not going to be Like, it's always great when you win the WDC and then you start the new season and it's like, oh, I gotta back this up. And Lando has learned his lesson because after he won, he definitely retracted his statements about Lewis and his statements about Max. And that's really where my, like, thing with Lando, because I liked Lando and it's like, I don't dislike him. I just like, he's just not my driver really. That's
Yeah,
it. But like those statements really did rub me the wrong way when he was like, it's easy to win when you have the fastest car. And boy, did he learn this season that it's not easy to win when you have the fastest car, even when you have the
exactly.
fastest car. You know?
Exactly, and no, next year is like you said, he has to back it up now. He
Mm-hmm.
has to show like, okay, I didn't win this just because I'm in a rocket ship. I won this on my
Mm-hmm.
own merit, and I will give him credit. He has matured a lot, especially compared
Yeah.
to 2024. Just
Yeah.
he's as like a human being, he has grown a lot, and I think that helped him
I
in
agree.
terms of like overcoming, the couple of slumps that he also went through because he
I
had
agree.
the middle of the season was
Yeah,
awful for
bad.
him.
I was like, is he okay?
Yeah.
I said, Lando, what's going on?
Like, buddy, you good?
Literally, like the middle of the season, that was so weird. That was really weird.
No, I was like, does he have like a twin brother that's like
Like what
driving for
actually
him?
happened? I really wish I could ask him like what happened during the middle of the season because
Yeah.
I think the middle of the season it was kind of I think it was just like a lot and then of course that's when Oscar was really dominating as well and he was just like I can't catch a
Yeah.
break. And like that does get to a driver. But you're right. He definitely, especially from 24, he matured. And I'm really happy that like he wasn't so hard on himself this season as
Mm.
he was last season. Cause I mean, I get why he was hard on himself last season because it was the first time he was actually competing for a championship. But I am happy to see that like this was more of a positive side of Lando and not so like negative. I hate when
Yeah.
drivers are negative, like Charles saying I'm stupid, Lewis saying I'm useless. Like guys can
It's like, no, you're not. You're like one of the like 20 people in the world that does this sport. Like, you're really not useless.
like please stop
Yeah.
but I do think it was a great season for McLaren. Next, that's the thing about like winning this WCC and WDC at the end of regulations is always hard because it's like yay you won and like you would expect them to come into the next year dominating again but we're starting fresh so it's going to be really interesting because Lando could come in trying to back it up and take that and what's that word when you
Like defend.
yeah, defend his title, but he might not even be able to.
Yeah, that's true because they don't have a foundation to build on,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Exactly.
Max, his incredibly dominant season wasn't the first year of the regulations. It was like
Exactly.
the third.
Mm-hmm.
So
Same with Hamilton and
yeah,
Mercedes when he kept defending his title. Like, McLaren kind of got the short end of the stick with this one.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's
or
true.
should I
But
say
at the same,
Lando? Mm-hmm.
yeah, but at the same time, they showed that like they can out engineer a works team,
Exactly. Exactly.
which
So that's going to be really interesting. And that was kind of everything that I really wanted to touch on today. What are your thoughts for next year? What are your predictions for next year? They don't have to be serious. They can be serious, whatever you want. You let me know.
Ooh, well, first of all, thoughts excited to have an 11th team on the grid. Excited to see
Yeah.
Checo and
Let's
Valtteri
talk about
back.
that.
Yes,
Okay, wait.
I'm.
Side note.
Yes,
I'm so obsessed that it's Checo and Bottas because they were notoriously number two drivers.
yes, me too. I I kind of hope that like Cadillac comes in hot and like we see the two of them like going at it.
That's gonna be really hard for me because I actually like them both. I don't even know. I don't know who I would root for on the. I'm so curious to see how that's gonna pan out.
Yeah, I think that they made such a good decision with their drivers, like coming in as a new team, having drivers who have won constructors championships, who have been at the back of the field and at the front of the field, like in
Yeah,
various teams, because both of them have kind of hopped around and had like pretty long careers.
yeah, and then they've also had, like you said, they've also been with two great teams as well, and they know how to maximize a car. Like they do know how to do that. So I'm very curious. I'm also like, this is definitely not for 26, but I'm really curious to see where Colton Herta is going to end up because I do think he might end up with Cadillac at some point because I I this is such a weird, like, an IndyCar driver, a renowned IndyCar driver as well, going to
Yeah.
F2.
I'm how often has an IndyCar? I know Formula One to IndyCar is fairly common,
Not,
but
I
the
don't even know,
other
has that
way
even happened?
around, I don't. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Because I want to say Andretti, but I think Andretti was Formula One first, even.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think
So
so
I
too.
don't know if that's ever happened. So if it does happen, I would love, because like it would make, I think he would either go Cadillac or Haas because they're the American
They're the
teams.
American teams, yeah,
Um, so, and I could see Haas actually taking him.
yeah.
Because if
Especially
Cadillac
if
sticks with
like,
their
yeah,
lineup, I could see
yeah.
Haas taking Herta.
But it also like it depends on how he does in Formula Two, right? Like
Yeah.
if
Which Formula 2 is kind of a hot mess though. So like anyone
yeah,
can like no shade to
it's not really
you know.
indicative.
No. It's kind of a hot mess,
Um,
so like I think he just needs the training, the like the
yeah,
European kind of training,
yeah,
really, because I know Pato's driven an F1 car a couple of times in the
yeah. Like
sessions.
he's done like the free practice sessions. He
Mhm.
did. He was in
He did
Abu
Mexico, I
Dhabi.
think. Oh yeah, he was in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
yeah. Instead of
Um,
Oscar.
was that Pato really?
Yeah, I think so.
Heike, I didn't watch that. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it was Pato.
Okay, you probably would know better than me because I actually didn't watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Pato's done a
yeah.
couple of sessions.
Mm, yeah, he has.
Um, so I'm curious because if Herta can make this work, then I don't see a world where I mean Pato's with McLaren. That's the issue. So he would have
Yeah.
to break that relationship with McLaren, and McLaren's not going to get rid of their driver lineup anytime soon. So he'd have to go with someone else. I just don't know who.
No, I don't think I see a world where Lando or Oscar, if McLaren driver lineup does change, it's going to be initiated by Lando or Oscar. I don't
I
see it
agree.
like
It wouldn't be by
McLaren dumping one
McLaren,
from it.
no.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't even know who it would be actually to
same.
initiate it because people could say Oscar but like Oscar, like he knows McLaren's a good team and he has a good
Yeah,
car. So like even if he's like not the happiest, we don't know. Like I don't see him leaving just because of that, you know?
exactly, exactly,
You
exactly.
know? So
Um,
yeah,
and I
I'm
don't
really
see it.
excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Like,
I'm. What else are you excited for aside from Cadillac?
Um, I'm just excited for the fresh start, to be honest. I'm really excited to see just really, because in my opinion, the first three races are not indicative of actually what's going to happen in the season. So whatever happens the first three races could show us who's gonna actually end up dominating, but I don't think the first three races are ever fully indicative. So it's gonna be the fourth race where I'm really gonna be like, okay, we kind of got our groove on a little bit. I'm really excited to see I am really curious to see, not even just because of Lewis Hamilton, but I am curious to see what Ferrari's gonna do because they're in such a weird position right now,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they're gonna navigate it. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to show up in 26 because they've been talking about how they've been working on the 26 car for so long, so it better be a good freaking car, you know?
Yeah, I think
Um,
I think for Ferrari especially, like the expectations and the pressure are really going to be high.
this is the
Like
first time I think they've actually had this kind of pressure in a
good.
while. In a while. Because we've already talked about it, but what the heck? And then I'm also really excited to see Aston Martin, and
Yeah.
I think I want to say Aston Martin. Who else? I want to say Williams, but maybe Audi. Is it Audi?
Audi, yeah. Yeah, they've been doing
Yeah,
Audi, yeah.
yeah, but more so, I think I'm really excited for Ashton Martin to see what Adrian Newey's going to do because it's going to be really
Yes.
interesting to see him in a team principal role and to see how I want to see. I wonder how like much he's going to because I don't. He's trained the engineers for the. He's from my understanding, he's trained the engineers to help for that car, like so they know his ways and stuff. But I wonder how much he's really gonna like step in if things start to like
Yeah.
go a little bit wonky, you know.
Yeah,
What
and
about you?
as a team principal, he kind of has a like a wider breadth of responsibility now. So I really do
Mm-hmm.
wonder how he's going to go about like, okay, what are the calls we're making on track, or like what are the calls we're making about driver lineup and things like that, right? I
And I
think
think that's gonna be. Sorry, go ahead. No, you just made a good point. I think that's going to be really interesting with driver lineup, especially with Stroll, because at the end of the day, Stroll Senior is still his boss.
Exactly. Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know?
So we'll see how that plays out. The other thing that I'm really excited about
Mhm.
is Madrid. We're getting a Madrid track
Oh,
next year.
yeah. I was like, I
And
thought of Real
it's
Madrid as like the soccer team. My bad.
12th team coming in hot. Real
I
Madrid.
was so confused for a minute.
And that one is really, really interesting because it's kind of a mix between a street track and a dedicated track. Like it
Yeah.
has features of both. And I know that drivers aren't like there's some drivers that really like street tracks. There's some drivers that hate them and are like just build a
Yeah.
normal track. So I'm really curious to see how this one is going to fly.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask you before I let you go because you know so much about it. Mom, tell me about it.
Okay, so first of all, DRS is not going away. It's just becoming automatic everywhere all the time. So, mom, manual override mode
Mhm.
basically just means that instead of DRS, instead of the rear wing of an F1 car opening, when a
Mhm.
car when a following car gets close
Mhm.
enough to a leading car, the manual override mode basically is just going to give them a bit of an engine boost.
Okay.
So the engines are going to rely a bit more on electric instead of combustion.
Okay.
And as they speed up, I believe it's going to switch more and more towards combustion. I could have that the other way around.
Okay. Okay.
And then once they get to like a certain speed, like that ratio of how much electric and combustion power they're using kind of stays locked. But
Okay.
if they're close enough to another car, they can manually override that and then get like a massive boost from like the other power supply.
Okay. Okay.
So instead of aerodynamics being the thing that we're relying on for overtakes next year, it's going to
Mm.
be the power unit.
Okay. That's exciting.
So we're still there will still be like a overtake mode. It'll just
Yeah.
come from a different source.
So is it kind of like I just got into Formula E? Is it kind of like attack mode in Formula E
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
perfect.
It's
Okay,
it's
that makes
similar
sense.
to that. Yeah, like where you
Which I
just get
think is
like.
so cool, by the
I
way.
agree. I
I like
agree.
that.
I
I'm
like that
excited
in,
to see
in
how that's gonna
Formula
work.
E, like they have to drive over like the
I
like
know, isn't that
the
so funny?
special
I'm
track.
like,
Yeah, I'm like this is so
they're
Mario
like
Kart. I
attack
love it.
mode.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
very similar to that. It's just instead of driving over like the part of the track,
Yeah.
they're gonna have like a overtake button.
Yeah, okay. That yeah. I mean in Formula E it makes it a little bit exciting because it's
Yeah,
like it might fail your attack mode.
yeah,
But I am really excited to see how that's going to work. And you know what's going to be extremely more exciting about that is because we've been using DRS for so long that like drivers are going to be like, whoa,
yeah.
confused. And that's going to cause even
Exactly,
more excitement, I think, throughout the races as well until they get
exactly,
used to it.
exactly.
Until they
But
get
yeah,
used to it.
overtaking, attacking is not going away. It's just coming from a different source next year.
That's really good to know. I'm so happy because I had no idea what mom was. I was like, but I kind of figured it was kind of like attack mode. I know I shouldn't call it mom because they said they're not calling it that.
They're not calling it, thank God, because the jokes. I'm like, dude, like we have some very immature fans in this. Like, do
Some
you really think calling something mom? Like,
if I say what I want to say, it's not gonna make it, so I just won't. All right, I think that's all I have for us today. Misha, thank you so much for joining me. This was an hour 30. I don't know how that happened. It was
that's
supposed to
okay.
be 30 minutes.
That's okay.
But
You and
please
I always just
tell
yap.
I know. But please tell everyone where they can find you. I know you told them in the beginning, but you know, we've talked for an hour 30, so please let them know
Yeah,
where they can find you.
for sure. I am on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts as Misha H Writing. You can also find my writing on fanamp.com and on my personal blog, mishahwriting.com.
That's awesome, Misha. Thank you again for joining me so much. This was really fun. This was really, really fun. And we definitely have to do this more.
Yes.
And that's all I have for you all here today. Thank you so much for sitting here and watching this. And if you're listening to it, thank you so much for sitting here and listening to this. And I will see you all in the next one. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. Thank you.
Bye.